Good afternoon, coaches. So today we are here for the book review, Biology of Belief, chapter 6. So this chapter is going to talk more about growth and protection. And today the person who's going to review this chapter is our Danya Irfan. So yes, Danya, over to you.
Yeah, Revati, just make it, what do you say? Spotlight my
Spotlight
screen.
yourself.
Spotlight my screen. Yeah.
Okay, just a minute.
And make this full screen, the slides.
Is that possible for me? How to do it if there is PDF? I
Yeah,
don't know.
down. You have opened it where?
On PDF.
Okay, so there is an option of slideshow somewhere in this. If
PDF.
anybody else. Yeah, because all these, your tabs will not be seen. The entire screen will be the screen of the
Okay,
PPT.
I'm just wondering how to do it. One minute. Oh, it's not coming that way. Uh, if I double click, I thought it will enlarge, but I don't know how to do it. Anyone knows?
Ma'am, in
Revati,
PDF
go
form,
to
it will not happen. I think fit the with kind of thing. Some option is there, like full screen. Utna.
Okay, otherwise that will be. It is visible, no? Then don't do any other janjat. Leave it.
Zoom to page level,
Revati, go to
laptop
edit
size.
option. Go to edit option.
No, I have.
Fit to
No, I got
with,
it.
ma'am. Fit to
Fit
with.
to
I
with.
That
I
will
got it.
be like.
I got it. Is that okay, Dania?
Yes. Now full screen, yes. Right.
Yeah. Good, I learned something today. Okay.
Okay. I didn't notice this last time. So anyway, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this session again on the book that we are reviewing, The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. And today the name of the chapter is Growth and Protection. So in our practice, we have seen many a times how, when we are trying to heal, there are a lot of factors that we have to understand that the protective side of the brain. So the body actually has two functions, right? For growth and of protection. Now, growth is the primary function, but when the body is in stress, the protection part of it takes the center stage. So here, when we learn and when we understand that how we are applying already, certain things we are already applying in our practice as to how when protection part of it takes over and why the protection part takes over is when the growth and the cellular functions are hindered or impacted a lot. So this is a little brief introduction I would like to give on this, that every living cell uh, from a single microbiome to the human body has two fundamental modes of existence. One is growth and one is protection. Now, when the environment feels safe and protected, the cell opens up. It talks in the nourishment, builds tissues, communicates freely, which, as we said, it is a growth mode, that is expansion, learning, and healing. Now, when the environment feels threatening or toxic, the same cell closes its membrane, withdraws, and diverts the energy for defense. This is the protection mode, that is survival and not development. So in this, the author says, he reveals that there are two states that are mutually exclusive. So it's not that, I will explain this, a cell cannot grow and protect at the same time. That means it's not mutually exclusive. The same is true for human organism. So when we live in fear, chronic stress, inner conflict, our biology mirrors that tension. And digestion slows, immunity weakens, hormones misfire. So when we shift our vibration to trust, the chemistry of renewal returns. Now, if we say in the language of holistic healing, growth mode is the physiology of safety, while protection mode is the physiology of fear. So our daily choices through food, relationships, movement, and self-talk. Food, relationships, movement, and self-talk continuously signal to the body which mode we are adapting. So the purpose of healing then is not merely just to suppress the disease, but to teach the body to feel safe again. So this is actually the purpose of healing, that it has to learn to feel safe again, so that every cell membrane, so that every cell remembers to grow. Okay. Now, the next, now when the first thing I would over here, the PPT on the PPT is when fear takes the driver's seat. Now, see, when you're frightened, what happens? You will find yourself feeling really like, what choice to make. You feel really dumb as to should I do this or should I do that, right? So when you're frightened, you are dumber. So fear, what happens is in fear, it narrows down perception. And the author explains that when danger is sensed, blood flow drains from the forebrain, which is a seat of reasoning, into the reflexive survival centers. So survival centers are mainly reflexive. That is what our body has been designed. Our mind has been designed like that. That the survival center are always reflexive. And the other thing is the seat of reason, the forebrain, that is the seat of reason. So that's why creativity, digestion, and healing, they stop. They take a pause for some time. So every breath of calm, every mindful pause, it is like a biological repair in action. When we teach the body to exhale fully, we teach it to think, heal, and then to choose again. So every act of mindfulness teaches the body that you are making it feel safe. Okay, so this is about how fear is taking the driver's seat. Okay, next slide. So now we are talking about now the escaping the mountain lion mode. That is again fight and flight kind of mode. Okay, so early days when people used to face the lion and they wanted to say rush to the, I mean, they had two choices to make. Now they are in the process of going to attend a nature's call, or there's a lion that they spot. What is the first mode that the brain will look for? It will obviously look to run, right, when the lion is approaching. So that is called the mountain lion mode. That is a fight and flight. So if you're running from a mountain lion, it's not a good idea, or to spend energy on any of the growth or any of the digestive kind of processes. So the body by itself, it does not distinguish between a predator's roar and an anxious thought. So beautifully shown, like how we are actually being the fear or the predator's roar is being equated to an anxious thought. That's how similar our body reacts. So he reminds us that the chronic stress traps up the protection mode. That is when the adrenaline goes high and the repair and the digestion goes in a halt mode. So we say it like this here, right? That when we explain to our client, we say it that the body is constantly in the fight and flight mode and not in the rest and digest mode. So parasympathetic, sympathetic. So this is how we explain to them in layman terms, right? So coming to the slide, that movement, humor, any musical signal to our cells and all, signal to our cells that the lion is gone. Okay, so that fear goes away. The moment we are faced with some kind of movement or some kind of humor or something, the silence happens that the lion's roar is gone. Only then does growth, hormonal balance, tissue renewal, and all these metabolic systems, they come in synchronicity. Okay, next slide. So chemistry, this is about chemistry of love and fear. You can live a life of fear or live a life of love. What do you choose? So every single day we are faced with plenty of choices. Okay. And the result of who we are today is the choices we make every day. Every single day we are faced. It's not that we are compulsively doing one thing or the other. We have choices to make, but somehow, due to our patterning and due to our belief systems, we tend to choose the patterns that we are most addicted to, isn't it? So that's why there's a choice you have to make. You can live a life of fear, or you can live a life of love. So now both of these emotions, like fear and love, both emotions are chemistry. Fear releases cortisol, love releases oxytocin. And he says that the biology shows that emotions are instructions written in hormones. How aptly said this is, that emotions are instructions written in hormones. Okay, so now each and every of these statements that you will see here, they are like cast in, they should be cast in gold. Okay, so that's how strongly he portrays that these emotions are so powerful that they are like instructions which are written in the hormones. So when we choose compassion, when we choose gratitude or any positive emotion, we are literally scripting the body's chemistry. So if we want to script the body's chemistry for happiness and for joyousness and everything, we have to understand that certain things like compassion, gratitude, and all these things will do that. But when we are being grudgy, or when we are holding resentments and all, it becomes more like you're re-scripting the body's chemistry for fear and negativity. So in holistic practice, kindness becomes medicine and safety becomes a prescription. Next slide. So how is belief is biology? The entire book is based on that, right? The biology of belief. So how is belief a biology? Our beliefs, they control our bodies and our minds, and thus they control our lives. So every belief is controlling your life, right? So they are like molecular programmers. So every belief that we have, whatever we tell to ourselves, anything good we tell to ourselves, we are at the molecular level, we are programming ourselves. If you're saying good, we are programming good things inside us. If you're saying always talking negative about ourselves or about anything, then we are programming our bodies to at a molecular level to stay negative, or the metabolism getting hampered. So the stories we repeat, it shapes the signals that our cells receive. So every time any story, anything, any belief that we are ruminating in our mind, it is sending signals to our cells, either to open and be receptive, or to shut down and stop the growth. So now comes a part of changing the inner dialogue through affirmations, through self-trust, forgiveness, journaling. So this is not just psychologically termed, just psychological terms, but they are actually cellular training. Okay, so now if you see that the more you repeat of these good things, the more habitual and the more consistent you become in training your cells at the correct way, the more you are rewiring your entire system. Okay, now each new thought that you get, each new belief that you get, it is a chemical messenger of possibility. It is a messenger of hope. That yes, it's not that just because once that your body has suffered, it is that sentence that is written to you. You have the ability in your hand as a person who carries beliefs and thoughts, to program your mind, program your biology, and at the cellular level and the molecular level, program your entire physiology. Okay, now environment, that is a true medicine. Now we have seen in the lesson which I had done that the other day on quantum, that it's not just that just because you carry a gene for a particular trait, that again it is written in stone. every genetic expression can be changed due to by the changes in your environment. It changes with the changes in environment and the kind of things we input. Input meaning any content, any thoughts, or any kind of food that we are taking. Anything from the external world that goes inside is the source from the environment, which is changing the genetic programming every single day. Okay, so just like a single cell, the character of our lives is determined not just by our genes, but by our responses to the environmental signals. I'm sure all of you will agree to it after a few, I mean, many of us have been practicing certain things from, you know, the base of which is this. Actually, we've put our practice basis on this only, that the not just the genes, but our responses to the environmental signals. So one environmental problem has come in, or some challenge has come in, and there are 3-4 people, you will see that all the 3-4 people will react to that particular situation in a different way. Nobody reacts to a challenge in the exact same way. And how is that determined? It is determined by, again, the memories, the beliefs, and the experiences that you have had early on, which shape the way that you are responding to the environmental signals. Okay, so basically, genes are the blueprints. It has been there. Yes, you are made a human being because of your genes only, right? But the environment decides which pages are read. So blueprint is there, but now environment, when the environment comes in, the factor of environment comes in, it all depends as to what pages of the blueprint are you absorbing. So this one, the author, he likes this, he likens this to a culture dish. You all have heard this also in this previous presentations, that nourish it and the cell thrives, pollute it and it falters, right? So we redesign the human culture dish. How do we redesign it? Through nutrition, through good relationships, thoughts, spaces, and turning lifestyle into the laboratory of healing. Right, next slide. Letting the flow replace the resistance. How many of us see that whenever we try to transform ourselves or our beliefs, or for that matter, any of our clients' beliefs, how many of us are faced with resistances? Oh, I will start today, I'll start tomorrow. Somebody came up, I don't have the time. My children are troubling, or it could be any reason. Those are nothing, and no, these excuses are validated in and told as, and they appear as resistances to the they are resistances to the change that your mind and body want to make, that your conscious self wants to make, but your inner self is so accustomed to staying in pain that it will want to resist the change that is newly come in. So he aligns here. Now the message that he gives over here is that the cells that depend on the flow of nutrients, energy, emotion, and holding on to anything, stagnating or holding on or not able to let go, it creates stagnation. Okay, so healing is simply that the body is remembering movement again, inwardly and outwardly both. So if you're moving out, if you're having a good movement outside, internally also the hormones will be, simultaneously, so similar hormones will be secreted, and you will be, lowering the stress hormone and, giving better inputs of the positive hormones. Okay. Now we talk about the cellular pathway to healing. as we have seen in the previous chapters also, that every transformation that we want for ourselves or for our client, it begins at the smallest unit. That is a cell. Now, perception of what the mind believes and the cells interpret is real. Okay, perception precedes biology. Healing starts by changing the signal we send through perception. So as I said, one situation is given, how I perceive and how the other person perceives and how somebody else perceives is totally different based on the experiences that we have had. Then, so these are the three rules, he says. Perception precedes biology. Chemistry follows emotion. Okay, so joy, safety, love, all these emotions, they cover the they comprise of the regenerative molecules, while fear covers them up with the defense hormones. Okay, so now when this chapter is talking about growth and protection, the body has got these two very important things, but at the same time, it has got both roles to perform very importantly, but protection comes first, because that is where the when protection comes first, that is where the your mind is trained to keep you safe. Okay, so things like transformation and all these things also, at times the brain considers this also as something like a new thing, some new input has come in. So the reason why resistance comes in is that it does not want to change. It wants to make you feel safe and in the familiar zone, which is its comfort zone. But the moment you try to train your conscious mind, you're able to change the physiology and the hormonal chemistry inside. And the third is a reconnection. It restores the function. So community get-togethers or nature and self-expression remind the body that it belongs, the ultimate signal of safety. So all these things like emotions, the good emotions, the reconnection, and all these things help the body realize that it needs to overcome the fear, the protection, enough of protection, and there is also a function of growth also it has to perform. But that all depends on how we are feeding the good hormones or the fearful hormones. Okay. Now the daily practices that help to signal the safety. So some of these include morning grounding, that is a 2-minute slow breath with hand on the heart. The cortisol eases and the vagus tone rises. So the most important connection that our brain has got with our entire body is the vagus nerve, right? And in stress, this vagus nerve is the tuning of this vagus nerves goes haywire. So when we sit and ground ourselves, do some humming or do some kind of reconnective work or grounding, like slow breathing, all these things helps to ease the vagus nerve. Okay, it goes from the brain here, from behind the ear into toward the gut. The next is the creative flow. So anything, something like art or writing or rhythm like dance or something, align the brain waves with calm focus. The person tends to become more calm. You will see that, when you're stressed out, you just take out a book of colors and sit and just color for 5-10 minutes. Your entire your sensory organ of the eye, I mean the sensory part, that is the eye, it will take in so many colors that it starts feeling relaxed again, right? So in between stressful work hours, look outside of the window to calm your breath. See at a distance, not just something that is near to you, because seeing in the distance again shows signals the body that there is calmness and safety. Okay, sitting in the sun, that is also one of the ways in which you can calm your internal chemistry. Now, evening release. Now, what do you similarly, like if you engage in like forgiveness or journaling or simple reflection, okay, forgiveness journaling or simple reflection, that unclogs the emotional whatever baggage that you have been carrying. It prepares the body for deep overnight repair. So all these things, like how growth, protection, and then how you actually enhance the portion or enhance the biology of your growth functions, is when the protective functions will take the backseat, or else you will not be living a life of love, but you will be living a life of fear. Okay, so yeah, now here we come, and when we say the art of healing lies in retaining the body to trust life again. So everything starts feeling safe again. The moment you start feeling safe and become more positive and turn your beliefs and from your beliefs into your cellular function for more safety, and healing, the more your protective side will become protective side, as in what? Today's protective side is not lion's roar or some predator. Today's protection is from what? From comparisons, from social media, from work-related unnecessary stress that we carry, and expectations and judgments and all these things. So in today's world, these are the lion's roars problems that we are facing. So that is actual stress. Okay, so the mind needs to know, okay, when to protect and when to grow. Okay, so the more we feed on stress, the more the protective side becomes active. The more we feed on healing, the more is the growth side that is getting repaired. Okay, so the first thing in this is pause before you react. So we have a tendency as human beings that something angers us, we tend to react. But when you pause before you actually take that reactive step, each mindful breath that you take, it rewires the nervous system from fight and flight to rest and repair. It's as simple and as wonderful as this, like how your human body exactly is created for repair and growth. But it is us with our own beliefs and our own external issues, we take in more and more of fear-based ideologies, and we are rewiring or redesigning our life for disease rather than healing or health. So nourish yourself instead of numbing it. Okay, so when you're fearful, you get numb. You don't know sometimes what to do, right? So that closure causes the mind to go again in the fight and flight. So first you have to consider nourishing it instead of numbing it. So nourish it with wholesome food, sunlight, movement, and tell the body you are safe enough to grow. This is the affirmation. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm safe to grow. It's I'm secure, I'm safe. These are the things that will help your body repair faster. Okay, so they are all these are the programming that we need to give our body, our mind, and for in order that you do not suffer or you don't go through any kind of disease. Okay, love as a daily signal. So this is very beautiful. Gratitude journaling, kindness, and gentle touch are biological affirmations that trigger the chemistry of repair. Such simple and free of cost medicines we have. and our body is accustomed to. But yet we go around thinking that this medicine will solve this problem, that medicine will solve acidity, the other say some other medicine is going to solve some other problems. But actually all the healing is within our body. Beautiful machinery which is given to us to take care of, and which we sadly ignore, right? So I will end this by saying that when the cells feel safe, the healing begins, right? So when the body senses safety, now this is all about growth, and this chapter on growth and protection is all about how your body needs to feel safe so that it grows well, so that it metabolizes well, so that it nourishes you well. Okay, and so that you heal out of the problems and the diseases that you have been facing. So every cell shifts from defense to creation. So healing shouldn't be forced. So how does it happen? It unfolds naturally when the fear releases its hold. So yes, that's it from my side. This is all about chapter 6 of growth and repair. I hope I have made and helped you understand certain concepts of Bruce Lipton, what he's saying beautifully in this chapter of growth and protection. Yeah, so Revati, I'm done. If there is any query, anything, we are open to it.
So coaches, any queries? I understood only one thing, Dania. You have literally lived with this chapter. I didn't even change the slide according to your thing, but you are just going. I was just waiting. Okay, where is that line she's explaining about? I thought, okay, some in context she's explaining extra. Then I understood, okay, it is the next slide. Then I changed. Then I changed. My goodness. I really love the flow of it.
Actually, yeah. So yes, it becomes like an engrossing chapter so much that, you know, I have created the slide, but I would have just spoken about it just like that also.
This book has got that power. It actually makes you travel along. No, it is not a book where you just simply read, but only certain books create that kind of an experience where you travel along with the author,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
And
And
I've
many
seen a lot
times,
of concepts. We have seen what Sir has taught us, and how he has. It's such a big book, and so many concepts from this book. How he has beautifully weaved in so many chapters.
very much.
It's. I don't think it's. I mean, it really requires that skill and art to make this one book into an entire course like that.
That too, he didn't use ChatGPT back then, 5 years back. He did that advanced thing, everything. Now we are actually taking the help of AI, but
Yeah.
no, that this book actually, that's the reason we really need to read every single book that has been listed into HNTP book list,
Hmm.
because see, he has very well summarized everything. But even though that is there, when you read that in depth, you gain more conviction. See, I can actually deliver certain amount of information to all of you. But when I actually I might even cut short certain things because I feel it is of no importance. Sometimes it happens like by default there will be a bias.
Yeah.
But when you read the book, you get more convinced. You say or you see that there is a lot of supporting studies, research have been already conducted. See, majority of us are from nutrition background, but we don't know about what those kind of journals or this research has been done when it comes to this holistic healing or something like in the quantum level. So when we read certain studies, it is like goosebumps. Okay, something has already happened. It is not new. It has been happening like years. I mean, there are like 50, 60 years old study, 100 years old study has taken quote from. So nothing is new actually. I really recommend everyone have this book, read it in your own pace. Though we have just trying to share whatever we have learned. Yeah, you can have the book, a copy of it with you, right? So, any questions, coaches?
Yes, Dhanya ma'am. This is Vijay.
Yes, Vijay.
Hi, Vijay.
Yeah, no, I so as Revatika said, you just enjoyed the chapters. I have a last chapter onwards. I have a habit of no before seeing the class, I have to read the chapter because I can able to correlate everything. So I just enjoyed it, and then thanks for nice explanation. And then last time also I told Neelam ma'am, your Canva is always it's what do you say? It's eager to listen. What will be the next slide? What will be the next slide? The designing, everything of content creating. It's really great, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Vijay.
Hello, ma'am. Srishti here.
Hi, Shishti.
Ma'am, it was a wonderful class today, and I was trying to write each and every word you were talking in the flow, and I was writing in a burning speed, Still, I couldn't make a proper note of it, and it was so wonderful, so relatable, and I was like lost during this class. It was so wonderfully and beautifully explained today. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Any questions, coaches? If we have,
Hello.
yes, Hinaji.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you very much to like simplify, easy to understand what's going on in our mind and how it impacts our body. So I have a question like from our belief to our feelings, what is like all in between. So how we can like कि शुरू कहाँ से करें? We have to pay attention to our thoughts की feelings या emotions. I get confused between emotions and feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone has to start paying attention to their health, so कहाँ से शुरू किया जाए? Like to understand ourselves, our mind, and
So, simple thing is that firstly, you have to go back to your all areas of life, right? The wheel of life, that what Sir says, right? All the areas of life. Firstly, on a very, on this is the assessment stage actually. So, if you want to look for transformation, first you look at the part of your all areas of life and see how you're performing in each of those areas. Okay, so now if the difficulty you feel is in relationships, or if there is some kind of a problem that more is in your either relationships or health, wealth, or relationships, or anything else like spiritual side of it, or your psycho-emotional aspect, from there on you hold that one, how much of percent you feel you are lacking in that area of life. Okay, and then you go back into understanding that what are the beliefs you hold in that particular area of life, and how many things you're holding are serving you, or are those beliefs or are those thoughts not serving you. Okay, so there are certain beliefs which you may have seen as a child, you may have followed, but it may not be necessary to hold on to it now. Or certain beliefs or thoughts may be harmful for you. It could be like that, unknowingly, due to some conditioning, you're repeating negative things to yourself, right? So from there on, you will be able to catch hold. Okay, yes, okay, I have to journal this, or I have to write out about this particular area of life. Okay. And when you start writing, that actual connection which you build. So initially, to get connected to yourself, you'll have to do some kind of a written workout. And when you start doing the written workout, it counts as an acceptance. So the tool of acceptance ka role yahi hai. This is where when you start writing, acceptance comes in. And when acceptance comes in, you realize that, okay, this is what I have understood about my life. And here is where the healing actually starts. It actually begins. What Sir says is 50% of healing happens when you have actually accepted your situation. So from there on, then you work for yourself as to, where to go forward. And Danya also wanted to say something, and any of you also can, elaborate on this point if you all can help her out.
Hi, Danya.
Hi.
Good session. The flow was like, yesterday when we discussed about the prologue and epilogue and all these things, I started reading the prologue, but when I was into it, I felt I should tell people standing as an author there. It is my story. I should be as it like my story. I have to explain, and you did the same today. It's like you did it all together, and it was like freely flowing. That makes a more of connection, people to connect more with. And coming to Hina's question, see, Hina, it's not only for you, for many people, what happens is like the emotions and feelings we are not able to differentiate because sometimes we drown into the emotion and that continues as a feeling. Okay, it is not too very different. That continues as a feeling. But it's not only about drowning into the emotion, it is also about sometimes we feel like, okay, if I'm angry, let me be angry. If I'm sad, let me be sad. It's fine. We try to, camouflage it. We try to, move away from that emotion and divert it with something else. At that time, what happens? We try to, deeply hide that and do something else. It is hidden. Somewhere else with a subconscious trigger, it comes out. And that is where the manifestation of the condition starts. So when you are experiencing some emotion, it's okay to experience that. You're taking 2-3 days time, you're taking at least months time over that emotion, it's absolutely fine. So let's not jump immediately out. Try to jump immediately out. No, this emotion is not for me. It has come to you to teach you something. Stick on to that. Learn something out of it. Why it is coming to me, from whom it is coming, or it is coming through me. Let's give a tight hug to that emotion and say like, okay, you have come to me to teach me something, though it is a fear or anxiety, whatever it is. Because when the fear comes, we fall into fear like, why is it coming? No, you come to me to teach me something. That is all. So when a kid is showing some emotion, we don't hate the kid totally, right? It is that period of time that emotion comes. The same way, emotions are not bad. We are treating it as bad. It is not bad quality. It is all together. We are that. We are filled with emotions. We can't treat it as separately. It is bad and all these things. So go through the emotions, feel it. And as Danya said, focus on the areas so that you will know why these emotions are coming up. That is why journaling. We all think journaling is all about writing day to, sunrise to sunset, whatever we do, that's journaling. No. What are the emotions there? How do we address it? How do we, work upon it is what it is. So when you split it and see, it becomes quite easy to handle it. So this is from me. And Revati, if time permits today or the next week, after the 7th chapter, you can play that 10 minutes video of Bruce Lipton that I had shared, where he talks about Anita Moorjani. So he talks about, dying to be me. He talks about that, how she healed out of the cancer. So beautifully expresses it. So when time permits, I would request you to play that, Revati.
She not only healed out of cancer, she came out of coma and after a near-death experience.
Yes.
And she has lived after that 20 years more.
Because
Imagine.
the way this author is narrating last night, almost like close to 12 o'clock, I was listening to that. And it was so beautiful with his
Hmm.
emotions to be handling. So, Revati, I hope you heard that whenever possible,
Yeah,
play
I
it.
heard that. So how many minutes video? Because I've got a client call at
It's
3.
totally
So
a 10 minutes video, but the last 5 minutes, I think he narrates about the story.
if that is, it's that short, I can play it right away. Just a minute. Huh? So you shared 2 videos, right? So which one is that?
The first one, the 10 minutes video. No, if there is no question, we can go to the video, Revati. If somebody has got questions, we can go with that as well.
I guess there's no question yet as such.
You automatically get cancer. I say, there's no gene that does that. Say cancer is caused by gene. I go, nope. No, there's not one gene. No, not one gene causes cancer. You show me a gene that if you have this gene, you automatically get cancer. I say, there's no gene that does that. I say, you get percentages. I say, let's say women who are afraid they carry breast cancer gene, BRCA gene. I say, women think, oh my, I got the gene, I'm going to get cancer. I go, 50% of the women that have the gene never get the cancer. There's an important point, and that is possession of the gene doesn't mean you get cancer. You could have the gene and never get the cancer. I say, so where does the cancer come from? Not from the gene, from the life that is not in harmony. That's where cancer comes from. And if you want to get rid of cancer, you don't kill the cells because they're not a problem. The cells are a symptom. What do I mean? I say, they're the result of a problem, cancer. I say, where's the problem? Consciousness. The gene does not cause this. And a favorite friend of mine, her name is Anita Moorjani. Maybe you know the book, Dying to Be Me.
Yes.
It's a lesson for everyone on this planet. That woman's story is a lesson for everyone. She had cancer 4 years. And at the end, they had a machine to keep the breathing and the heart going because the body stopped working. She was so thin, so skinny. The cancer around her neck and around her groin and the lymphoid organs were swelling so much you could see the lumps of cancer on her. She was, the last day of her life, the doctor said, she's in a coma. She's out. You bring the family because this means that she's going to die. And when she was out, she had an experience with her father who died before. And she she upset the whole family because she was in arranged marriage, okay? And 2 days or so before the marriage, she says, I'm not going to do it. And the family was so embarrassed because all the people looked at the family and said, oh, Anita, run away. She's not getting married. And she thought that her father lost the love, that she was afraid that her father would no longer love her anymore. And the fear is what caused the cancer. When she had the coma, she had an outside body. She meets her father, and her father says, no, I always love you. There was no loss of love, nothing, no. So she came back with no fear, no loss of love. And the last day of her life, because the doctor said, when she is in a coma, it's over. And when she came back from that experience, out of body, she came back, the cancer disappeared. The moment that she woke up, they had to take the machines off because the moment she woke up, her body is working. And in 3 weeks, cancer is gone. The doctors can't find any of the cancer. The doctor said, cancer is in there somewhere. Anita says, nope, there's no more cancer. And she today is alive, and I just lectured with her last week because I say, Anita Moorjani is like the story of biology of belief. She had cancer the last day of her life, and people should know this. You could go to the very last day of her life, change your mind, and you can come right back to health again. And her story is so important. That's why I love to lecture with her, because I talk about biology of belief, but Anita Moorjani lived the biology of belief. She changed her belief and the cancer disappeared. And I want people to know that, because I say you don't have to kill the cancer cells with radiation. You don't have to kill them with chemotherapy. You have to change the thinking. The cancer will go away on its own. And this is, to me, the example of the work you are doing. It's, to me, the example of epigenetics. It's the example of consciousness controlling biology. And it shows how powerful we are when we understand the source of the problem. Don't look down here. That's not where the problem starts. Problem starts here. And those doctors like you that understand this are the ones that can help heal the world. But if I'm a conventional doctor and I say, okay, time for chemotherapy, you know, people don't know. If I did not have cancer, I was just a healthy person, and you gave me chemotherapy and radiation, you could kill me. I go, what? I say, chemotherapy, radiation, if you're healthy, that process kills you. I say, why would I put that into a sick person? They're already sick. Why would I give them the poison? And the answer is no, there's a holistic way of doing it.
Let's talk about the three big mistakes. That's powerful. Impactful. You have to actually read that book, that page. He has described so beautifully in that book. Near-death experience. That's what he mentioned it as, NDE. And yeah, first time when I read it, I that was the first time I heard that word also, near-death experience. What it means like. See, I really loved, you know, even last day of your life, if you choose, if you are willing to use your free will, you still have life. It's the very most powerful thing I can say. Right? So
Yeah, that is very true, Revati. As I discussed with you a couple of days back, a few people, you know, getting into the geriatric age, this, you know, above 60, they feel that probably if you could work on my sickness level, that is more than enough than my emotional level. What am I going to do correcting all those things? Well, I've almost done everything with my life. So if I'm feeling sick with some kind of dis-ease in my body, treat me with that. You don't have to, you know, really kindle everything which has happened earlier and, you know, bring it out. But they are unable to connect properly, wherein that is the cause for this. God should give the answer to, you know, explain them how to really connect.
because they don't know what happiness is. As simple as that. They are happy with unhappiness. And they are not comfortable with being happy. Okay, so any questions? Neelamji?
Book made me speechless again.
Okay.
Neelamji, are you on tears? You wore glasses?
Oh no, yeah, Baba, eyes hurting.
Okay.
Chashma, yeah. So no questions. Shall we end the session? So that is a very strong takeaway from this session is like even the paradox is like chemotherapy actually can kill, but cancer won't. Okay, so yeah, from with this strong key takeaway, start processing whatever has been discussed so far with this book. So next week I will be starting with this conscious parenting, and I'll tell you it is going to be really a big chapter. So you have to stay with me for one whole hour. So we will have some discussion as well in between, because that requires a lot of internalizing things, and how every single word actually plays a role in triggering the gene itself. It is not that it is automatically triggered, but the way we prime or we give the prompt to our children at a very early age, where they are not able to consciously process, but they take up every single word as truth. Okay, so that is going to be a little intense, but he has given in a very nice way, clinically, so it will be very useful for us, especially when you want to handle a client whom you think, okay, this fellow or this girl would have underwent some childhood trauma, so where they would have picked it up. All these things, it will really help the 7th chapter, conscious parenting. Okay, so I've just given a brief about it. Please do join next week. Okay, so if no questions, I can end the session. Yeah, and Danya, thank you so much once again for a wonderful session with the flow. I'll try to catch up that with that flow. Let me also be fully with whatever I'm going to deliver next week. Thank you so much, Danya.
Thanks, Revati, for being for catching hold of me, Neelam, and getting me to do the review. You're real
I
principal.
got a loose hand today. Yeah.
So that's how we had done also Hearts Code, and now we are doing this.